my new thing is like basically me trying to like sum up my approach to life now, which is like if anybody comes to me for anything, like I'm going to try to help you out to the extent that I can. So like the message is like do the things that you do, but do them like with love.
Hi, I'm Joe Fitzpatrick. Welcome to the Evolved Podcast, an open forum on personal growth and cultivating a positive mindset. Today on the show, we have Jamaal Williams. Jamaal is a modern day Renaissance man. He is a neurodivergent, creative problem solver. He has done a lot of different things creatively, including photography, videography, graphic design, apparel design, art directing, and copywriting. Jamaal got started in his creative journey as a clothing designer with his first brand, the Dweeb Lifestyle Company. Over the years, much like myself, he took an interest in photography and video, and he started creating a portfolio with product photos, portraits of models, landscapes with aerial drone footage, and so much more. He branded his photo biz under the name Maal's World, and his work continues to get better and better. In 2020, he launched the Department of Public Goods and Services to promote community engagement for people of color and provide more representation for BIPOC individuals interested in doing creative services with his YouTube video series, Conversations with Creatives of Color. Also in 2021, with the collaboration of his wife and daughter, he started an Instagram page called Black People Need Sunscreen Too, to share photos of their family camping trips and to inspire families and people of color to get outside and make the outdoors feel like a safe space for all people. In December 2021, Jamaal launched his new clothing brand, From Maal with Love, or FML for short, based in Long Beach, California. He created this new brand to reflect the aesthetics and styles more relatable to where he's at in his life now. Let's go. I'm really excited for you to be part of this. You know, every time I...
For sure, man. I'm stoked you asked.
Yeah, every time I do some sort of project, I love collaborating with you, and
Definitely.
It's really cool to hear about your personal growth journey and you know how that's evolved over time. So I know, just to recap, we met in like 2017 or 2018. Well, no, actually, probably it was before that. It was
before that, yeah.
If 2014 or 2015, when you were still doing your old clothing brand, you were doing a Kickstarter campaign to raise some money for a new line of products that you were putting out. And our mutual friend Antoine Rahat, he shared your Kickstarter campaign on Facebook. Checked it out.
Big thanks to the homie, by the way.
Yeah, exactly. And I checked it out. I thought it was really cool. So I was doing the music and culture blog, Dominion Collective.
Path to Life, right?
Well, no, but before that, I was doing Dominion Collective, the blog. And
that's right.
I reached out to you for an interview.
Yeah.
Like, the written content.
And we met in like Richmond, didn't we?
Yeah. So we did the blog in like 2015, and then in 2017, after I moved to Richmond, I was doing Path to Life and starting to do more video content. And that's when I met you in person for the
In
first time.
person. Okay. All right.
Started to develop more our relationship more, and really connected on different levels of like creativity and entrepreneurship.
Mm,
Um,
yeah. We were
positive.
vibing.
Yeah, we were vibing real good, and I got to meet your brother Jamaal that weekend too, which was really fun.
Mm.
Um,
Oh, Jarrell.
and Jarrell. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Um, and now we're doing the podcast. So,
Mm-hmm.
it's been an evolution in terms of our creative collaboration together.
Yeah,
Um,
for sure.
and
Friendship too. Just like,
Excited to know you. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. And since then, you've moved across the country. You live in
Mm-hmm.
California now. You were living
Mm-hmm.
in Northern Virginia before that. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so that's the high level overview of how we know each other. But can you
Yeah.
give an overview of who you are, what you do for a living, and all your passions?
Yeah. Excuse me. So my name is Jamaal Williams. Most people just call me Maal. Uh, so I'm like, I wear a lot of different hats. Like
Mhm.
I am a creative on the side, but like I have a day job as well, like finance and purchasing. But like the stuff that I really love to do is pretty much all things creative. I shoot video content, I edit video content. I'm a photographer for certain things. But the thing I guess that like speaks to me the most is like design and like creating stuff. That is like my favorite thing to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you started off with your first design clothing brand, the Dweeb
Hmm.
Lifestyle Company, when you were in
Yep.
college, right?
Yep. Yes, sir. Don't want to ever end up broke. I still haven't even decided if I'm like gonna shelve that or not. I got a bunch of ideas in like the back pocket, but I feel like I gotta get some other things done first before I can like start giving that one attention again.
Right. So yeah, so you started that one a while ago, sort of put it on the back burner, and now you have a new company, a new apparel brand called From
Mm-hmm.
Love, right?
Uh-huh. FML.
Yeah. And it's definitely a similar like aesthetic to
Mm-hmm.
the Dweeb Lifestyle Company, but a
Mm-hmm.
different message. Can you
Yeah,
speak to that?
for sure. Yeah. So when I started Dweeb, Dweeb's an acronym for Don't Want to Ever End Up Broke. I was very broke, college student eating like ramen noodles, PB&J for like 90% of my meals. Uh, Fast forward to now, I'm like a family man. I got like a decent day job. Uh, so I'm not like the same broke kid that I was however many years ago, like when I started that one. I still feel like that kid up here, but like I'm not that anymore. But like one of the things that I think that kept me from being successful when I was doing like dweeb was I felt like compelled to do everything myself. I was
Hmm.
like, I'm not trying to collaborate really. It's like I gotta own this. It's mine. Um, I wasn't really looking out to like throw an alley oop to anybody. They'd be like, "Oh, that's cool. Like, how did you get that made? Where did you get that done?" Um, just like not really being like the best person. Like I was always like very much guarding my resources, not wanting to partner with anybody. Just like I guess it's kind of toxic almost, but like you don't realize it when like you're a young person. You just feel
Yeah.
like I have to find success for me.
Hmm.
Um, got a little older and just like learned some life lessons, and now like my new thing is like basically me trying to like sum up my approach to life now, which is like if anybody comes to me for anything, like I'm going to try to help you out to the extent that I can. So like the message is like, do the things that you do, but do them like with love. And that's where I got the name, like from Maal, with love. And also like reflecting back on like some of, I guess, like the other experiences that I had like earlier, like trying to put a positive spin on things not always working out the way you kind of like intended or planned for them to. Everyone's like, FML is bad. So it's like I'm trying to like give FML like a new, more, I guess, like positive spin.
Yeah, taking it back.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, that's it. That's the thing though. Oh, and the slogan is like more a more. So again, just like do things with love. Like there's enough like hate, self-doubt, anxiety, like everybody's going through something. So just like try to like remove the ego for a second, and I guess just like not pass judgment too quickly. Just try to be a better person.
Yeah, I love that. And that definitely resonates with me as well. It sounds like you really have shifted your mindset dramatically from, when you were younger, you were definitely more in like a scarcity mindset. Like, there's not enough,
Yeah.
to go around. There's not enough success to go around. Like I need to get
Yep.
mine, or hungry for that. And
Yep.
that
For
hunger
sure.
manifested in ways that, like you said, were, toxic. Whereas now you have sort of an abundance mindset, you have a bit more perspective. And you know that, there is plenty of success and plenty of love to give. And, you know that the more you give, then the more you'll receive. Right.
Yeah. Spot on. Spot on. Yeah. 100%. And it's also like me trying to, I guess, like not have the expectation of, it's like I always want to like treat people the way that I wish to be treated. And like for the most part, that's how it happens. But like I don't always need somebody to like do me a favor just because I do them one. Like really, it's like if there's something I can do and all I gotta do is like connect you via email or link you in like a text chain, like I'm gonna do that. That takes like nothing for me, and who knows what that can do for like somebody else down the road.
Yeah. But to your credit, you have been doing that for a while. And,
Thank you.
I talked to our mutual friend, Mark Mengra, for another episode of this podcast.
My brother, yeah.
Yeah.
Other brother.
Best friend. And I know you guys have been collaborators and friends for a while now, like probably close to 10 years or so. You can correct me on that if that's incorrect. But I know like
I feel like it's probably been a little longer than that. Like it's been a long time.
Because I know you guys connected when MySpace was still a thing.
I know.
So that kind of dates it right there.
Yeah, for sure.
He's done photos for you for Dweeb Lifestyle. You sent him clothing for like people to model for him.
He was like a rapper when we first met, and then he told me he was getting into photography, and it was like right around the time I started doing the brand. And he was like, hey, can you send me some stuff? It's like, say less, you got it, here's a box, do whatever you want to do with it. And then he just kept getting like better and better, like so fast. I was like, yo, like how did you go to school for this? Like what? This, I don't know. You guys are like, I like to surround myself with people like you guys. Like you do a lot, you get at a lot, so like naturally like that pushes me to want to do a lot and try to get like good at a lot of stuff. So thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it is good to surround yourself with people who are ambitious and positive, who are other creatives that want to do good work. a positive impact.
Yeah, that's
That's
another
definitely,
one.
that's definitely something that I've been trying to manifest and attract more into my life
Hmm.
over the years, rather than, just people that I used to party with in
Yeah.
college.
Yep. Yep. Same.
Yeah.
Things look way different when you hit like I'm gonna date myself too much, but like your 30s. Like I don't know. It's like things start happening differently, or you just start to see things a little differently, and like certain stuff doesn't matter as much.
Hmm. So when you started the dweeb lifestyle, that was that in your sophomore year of college? When was that?
Um, I honestly don't remember. And let me know if you're picking up any background noise. I hear the baby's kind of spazzing in the garage a little, and I can hear her. I
It's
don't know
fine
if
right
you can.
now.
Okay. Um, so I had like a weird journey through college. It took me like 6.5 years to finish. So I don't really know like what was like my sophomore year,
Yeah.
because I stopped going after my freshman year for a little while.
Oh wow.
So I
Okay.
think uh so it was probably like around like the year I came back, or the following year. So probably like 2007 or 2008, I want to say.
If you don't mind me asking, why'd you stop going?
Uh, I wasn't planning on getting into these details, but so I have like anxiety and ADHD, and like it kind of like manifested itself in like a different way once I got away from home. And so like I wasn't like assimilating into school. So like I didn't
Hmm.
have like a best like the best friend group. I wasn't going to class like I should. I wasn't studying like I should. Consequently, got put on academic probation. My parents wanted me to come back home, and like I thought about it for a second. I was like, if I go back home, then I know I'm probably never gonna come back out here and finish this thing. So
Right.
kind of thugged it out. Worked like some crummy jobs for a little while, but met like some cool people in the process. And
Yeah.
then I started kind of building a friend group in Hampton Roads, even though I wasn't like going to school.
Okay. Interesting.
And then like things were, I don't know, just like I got a little better at dealing with some of the things I was going through once I came back. I still remember though, like after I took off 3 semesters, and the first day back, I got campus and I sat in my car for an hour and a half because like I just couldn't bring myself to get out of the car and go into the classroom. I was like, everyone's gonna be like, oh, you're like a loser. Who's this old guy coming back for like basically the freshman gen ed classes that I didn't do well in
Mhm.
my first year. But again, got over it.
Right.
Yeah, it was definitely a journey for me to get to where I am now, man.
Yeah, man. Well, I went to college for 5 years because my junior year, my third year, I was really struggling with anxiety and depression, though I
Hmm.
didn't really realize it at that time.
Yeah.
Um, I was not really going to many of my classes. I
Hmm.
was sleeping a lot, and I just became really there for the parties, for the
Hmm.
socializing. Um, and I suffered the consequences as a result of that. That
Hmm.
my fall semester in particular was really shitty. I like failed 3 classes. Um,
Hmm.
so I ended up having to stay another year to like retake some of the requirements for my major.
Yeah.
And I eventually was able to, feel a little bit better, but I didn't actually start dealing with my anxiety and depression until this past year. On
Oh
a real
wow.
way. Like I did start going to therapy in
Yeah.
in
And that is so important. Like
2017, no 20,
yeah.
20. I started going to therapy in 2017, I think. And then I actually didn't start taking any medication for anxiety or depression until this past year. Yeah. And yeah, therapy is so important, as you were saying.
Yeah.
And, I feel like if I maybe had more willingness to go to therapy sooner, could have helped me out a lot.
Yeah.
But, I didn't.
But you did it on your own time, though. Like that's one thing they always say. Like, don't beat yourself up for like the stuff that you didn't do when you didn't know any better.
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, we all have our own journeys with mental health and whatnot. So I appreciate you sharing that part of your journey.
No, for sure. For sure. The older I get, like the more comfortable I get, like letting people in, because like I feel like younger me is like, I don't want to be just like categorized as like that.
Right.
And I'm just like, it's a part of me, but like it's not all of me, and that's fine.
Hey guys, brief pause in the episode to tell you about some of the great businesses that support this podcast. First, we got Weight Train. Use code Evolved Podcast to get 10% off all Weight Train and Athleticity gym gear and apparel. No matter what you need for your workouts, they have the gear to help you get it done. And if you don't see something you want, email them at team@weighttrain.com and they will take your requests for new products. Visit Weight Train for all your gym gear needs. Next is True Nutrition. Use code Evolved Podcast to get 5% off all nutrition supplements. I'm personally a fan of their soy isolate vegan protein powder, available in a variety of flavors and strengths, from light to heavy. They also have non-vegan protein powders if that's not your thing. I personally recommend the cinnamon bun and toasted coconut flavors in the heavy strength, and I add them to waffles, oatmeal, protein shakes, and ice cream. They're delicious. Check out their wide range of supplements at affordable prices that are third-party tested and verified for content quality. They are able to provide such great prices because the supplements come direct from the manufacturer without any marketing gimmicks or fancy labels. Visit TrueNutrition.com to supplement your workouts and your nutrition. Last is Hate Brand Goods. Use code Evolved Podcast to get 15% off all Hate Brand clothing and accessories. Their goat shorts and shirts are the most comfortable clothing I've ever worn, and they have the coolest designs. However, their clothing drops are only available in limited quantities, so get your favorites while you can, and be on the lookout for other drops that you're stoked on. Visit thehate.com, spelled HVIII, for clothing to remind the world that you're not dead yet and you're ready to kick today in the dick. Back to the show. Thankfully, like talking about mental health has become less stigmatized, over the past few years. It's very different now than it was, back then, whenever that was.
For sure.
People are more open to talking about it. People are more empathetic towards mental health issues. So it's totally understandable. Yeah. But with Mark, you guys have collaborated a lot over the years, and you have even like made some shirts together. Has he helped you at all with FML?
Not yet, but the offer is always on the table. When I saw him a couple weeks ago, he was like, just let me know. He's like, if you need anything, I got you. And I was like, yeah, I appreciate you. Like, yeah. One of the things I'm trying to do with FML right now, though, is like firmly solidify it as like a Long Beach based brand.
Right.
Because like that's where I am. That's where I see us for like the foreseeable future. And so it's like very important to me for now to do like a lot of stuff to the extent like that I can like do it locally here.
Right.
So there's definitely like something I've had like this idea to do like a New York inspired like collection because like that was another like very important place to me, but I'm not quite there yet. There's like a couple things I got to do before I'm ready for that. But it's we're definitely going to do something. I don't know what exactly, but we're definitely going to do something.
Very cool, man. And can you talk about your evolution as a photographer and videographer? Like, did that start
Yeah.
with Dweeb, or did that come after you started that brand?
So that came after. I always had like an interest in photography. Um, I kind of viewed them as like, I don't know, some kind of like mystics or like wizards or something. Just like, yo, like how do they make like pictures look like that?
Mm-hmm.
Um, Especially like when I had to work with like Mark or like other guys that would like shoot stuff for the brand. It's just like, how do they know how to get it like exactly the way that I'm gonna think is dope? And then I remember he took a pause and he was like focusing heavy on video for a while. And so I was just trying to see like who else could I find um that could like do like photos and video stuff for me. And I got fortunate in that like I could do collaborations for like a lot of the stuff. Um,
Yeah.
but like when I would start reaching out to other photographers, it's like, hey, like what would you charge to do this? And it's like it was like a lot of money at the time. Like there were people in 2015, they were like, my base fee is like $500 and you'll get like 30 edited shots. I'm like, I don't have $500. I was like, I just spent grands on all these samples that I
Mm-hmm.
now need to get like pictures taken of. Um, and so just like I figured that was going to be something that I would need to learn how to do if I was going to keep doing like a brand. But again, that was like old me with kind of like you said, scarcity mindset. Like I have to do all these things. Like now I'll shoot some of my own stuff because I can, but if there's somebody else who's like, I want to shoot it, like I'll let them. But how I got started, which was the original question, when when Brittany was first pregnant with Hunter, she got like really big into like hiking. So I brought like a drone, just so like, I don't know, it's like we can take pictures of scenery. It
Mm-hmm.
can like do videos of us like walking around, whatnot. So that was like my first, I guess, like camera. And then I learned how to fly the drone. I got like kind of okay with the video there. So I was like, well, I need something that can do video like on the ground. So like, I don't know, we can kind of like mix it together. We can do like some travel family kind of thing. So I bought a Pixel telephone because the video wasn't great, but like the pictures were amazing. And I was like kind of like experimenting with Lightroom, um, dabbling with Photoshop a little bit at the time. Um, and it really just kind of started from there. I did like my first portrait shoot with like someone that wasn't a friend or family was like on my phone. And so I show up to the shoot, and the girl's like, "Where's your camera?" It's like, "This is it."
Got it right here.
And I brought like, have you heard of Moment? They make like
Maybe.
they make like phone photo and video accessories to like add on cases and lenses for like to enhance like your phone's cameras basically. And so this was before phones had like 3 or 4 however many cameras on them, so you could slap like a zoom lens or a fisheye macro, whatever. So I had like their portrait lens with the portrait mode on my Pixel, and girls saw the pictures like, oh, like these are dope. They don't look like you took these on your phone. And then I got more into the video as well. And like when I got better at the editing, you can just do so much more with like the file that comes from like a dedicated camera. Than you could with like the video that came from a phone back then. Like now all the iPhones shoot ProRes, which is like pretty much the standard for editing. So like I'm sure you could do a lot with it. But at the time, the 4K files that the Pixel was spitting out weren't, it's like you adjust like the exposure just a little too much, and just like the whole thing is like a garbage image. So I was like, I think I need a real camera. So I got my little Fuji, came with the kit lens, started reaching out to people, like, hey, I'm just trying to build a portfolio, get better, like learn what it is, like how to shoot. Then I did that for, let's say like 6 months, maybe a year. It's like every weekend I was going out doing like 1, 2, maybe 3 shoots just so I could figure out how it worked. So I would have something new to edit. My old edits were, looking back, definitely not some of my best work, but like it's cool to see how far I've come in like the past few years. And then just like posting, reaching out, and then I got to the point where people were starting to see some of the stuff that I was posting. They're like, hey, can you do this for me, or can you do this for my friend? And it's just kind of bubbled from there. Yeah, I think that's like the gist of it. Now I get also like Rich Job is like every now and again, like they kind of cycle through photographers. So every now and again, I get the tap to do some of their stuff too, which is like, it's pretty dope to me.
Does she still work for the nonprofit that gets people, homeless people, exercising and stuff?
Oh no, so she stopped that right before Hunter was born. So she did it she did it in DC, in SF, and then she did it for a little while with the LA chapter, and then I think she stopped like fall of 2017. Now she works for it's like a restaurant chain.
That's right.
They do like quality. It's like, I don't want to call it fast casual. It's a little more elevated than that, but it's like a Mexican food restaurant chain that's based out here.
And she manages their social media?
No, she does all their marketing. She's like she's their marketing head honcho. She's the director over there. So she's doing big things. Social is just one of the things she has to do.
Yeah, that's awesome. You guys are like a creative power couple.
Yeah. And see, I didn't always think that like marketing was, I guess, like a creative thing. Actually, I don't know really what I thought it was. But she does like a lot of stuff that I didn't think like went into it, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, marketing is an interesting industry. It's a bit of creativity, but it's also a bit of business.
And a lot of strategy. Like
a lot of strategy. Yeah.
There's a lot of numbers in marketing now. Like,
and as like I was going through school and trying to like start a photography business sort of,
Mm-hmm.
and also, starting to do video after I moved to
Yeah.
Richmond, you realize how much you actually do have to market yourself, and
Yeah.
all of that brand strategy comes into
Mm-hmm.
play. Um,
Yeah.
so it is good to have that, within your skill set. Um,
Yeah.
it is also a whole nother job. So
Dude, it really is.
yeah.
Have you heard the Reels audio? It's like, I'm a small business owner, so unfortunately for me, that means I'm also a content creator. So here's the content.
No, seriously. Yeah. I'm not familiar with that one, but that is the truth, like, especially with social media becoming so, prevalent and such a
Hmm.
powerful marketing tool.
Yeah.
Um, you know, Everyone's a content creator. So
Yep.
like that sometimes makes me question, like, why am I doing this? Why am I doing photography and video if literally everyone
Hmm.
doing
It,
it? Like, what value am I adding, as a content
yeah.
creator myself, But
Hmm.
um, it just comes down to, you know,
Your unique vision
yeah,
and like
your
your
vision,
approach,
your
like it,
voice. Hmm.
yeah.
What are you contributing personally that's like, authentic to yourself?
Yep.
Um,
That's the
that's how
key.
I try and focus it. Yeah.
Yep. Authenticity. It's
Hmm.
like selling like everything that's like your unique way. Like that's, yeah. That is one of the things that is like most important to me. Especially like just being out here. It's like there's a lot of people like those industry kind of guys.
Hmm.
And it's like you can sniff them out like a mile away. It's like for some reason I can't even like pretend to like entertain that kind of energy. It's like I need real connections or I don't want any at all.
Hmm. Yeah. So I want to talk about some of your other projects that you've started, over the past few years. I
Yeah.
know. Let's start with the Department of Public Goods and Services, which I know is, sort of a side hustle, not really like
Yeah.
top priority, but it is something
Yeah.
that's really important to you, as it
It
is.
is very important to me. Um
So tell us what that's about and how it's sort of evolved since you started that.
okay. So I have like a million ideas for a million different pieces that could all be part of like one huge thing.
Yeah.
Um, when I was first, like, I guess, kind of like conceptualizing what became Department of Public Goods and Services, or just DPGS, it was like not a charity, but like it was. So I do like a lot of things that don't necessarily benefit people besides myself. So DPGS was like supposed to be something that was just me helping. And it's like I've been like a government head for like most of my professional life. So like I wanted it to feel kind of like a governmenty organization. That's what I wanted the branding to try to like invoke. Um, but it was really just something that like I wanted to create to like basically if there was like a young version of me like 15, 20 years younger, it's like, yo, I want to do this creative thing, but like I have no idea where to start. Or I'm kind of like good at this thing but I don't have like enough experience to like get a job doing it, so like I would need some help like getting an internship or like something. I wanted to do all of those things for like young creatives, specifically like creatives of color, because um a lot of times I feel like we got the shaft in like the professional like creative industry.
Hmm.
um but like setting up an organization with like a grand goal like that, like it takes like a lot more resources than I have right now. So I was like, what can I do to get started? And that was like the interview series that you were helping me so much with. So thank you again for all that.
Yeah, and I just want to put a pin there. That series is called Conversations with Creatives of Color.
Yeah.
Maal started it, and I offered help on the East Coast.
You took it and you ran with it. He's like, episode, boom, episode, boom, episode, boom. It's like, damn, yeah. I gotta step it up. Like,
so we put out together like 8 or 9 episodes, something like that, highlighting different creative individuals, some in California, some here in Richmond, just doing different types of creative work. And, we had.
And that was like the thing, sorry to cut you off.
No, you're good.
That was the thing that was like really important to me, because like what I learned, like the more I guess I kind of like floated around and did all these things, was that there are like a lot of jobs that like either touch, I guess, like the creative industries or at least like adjacent to them, but still require like some kind of like creative thinking and skills. And so like a lot of times, like when I was younger, when I heard like creative or like a designer or whatever, I always thought of just like a graphics person, an illustrator, none of these other things that like I could have gone to school for as like a younger person. And sure, like there's the internet, so like people can probably like find out about this stuff, but like I think there are like a lot of jobs that people just don't know about, like especially like young kids of color, because like I feel like our parents aren't always the most supportive when it comes to like pursuing things that they aren't familiar with and that don't seem like money makers. Like, how are you going to make a living taking pictures or being like a gaffer? Like a lot of people don't even know what that is. Like there's like people living quite comfortably doing the things that they love to do. So it's like I wanted to show people that found a way to do the creative kind of work that they love doing and still like make a living for themselves. So it's like, hey, mom and dad, like I told you I wanted to do this. This guy's doing this and he's killing it. This lady's doing this and she's killing it. So like it is possible for me to do these things.
Yeah, and of course it's all about that representation and cultivating that awareness.
For sure.
That those opportunities are available, and there are people like yourself, who are providing that representation out there doing it. One of my goals of this podcast, I mentioned this on the first episode, is, even though I am a white person, I want to provide as much representation as I can to other people
I love it.
who are different than myself, such as people of color, women, people who identify as trans or gay, non-binary. And
you've always been doing the dope stuff, dude. Like that's why I respect you so much. Like, I love that.
I know I have privilege and I want to use that privilege to the best of my ability. So
you're the man, dude.
I appreciate that. Well, you also have another project that you do with your wife, Brittany, called Black People Need Sunscreen Too. Talk about that.
Yeah. So that was, that whole like concept is her baby. I just came up with what I thought was like a clever name. But so like during COVID, we're getting like a little stir crazy, had like a little bit of cabin fever. Everything was shut down. So she was like, we need to get outside more. And I've never been like an outdoors person. Never. But that is definitely like her thing. She's like, yo, we're gonna go camping. What do you think? And I was like, I don't really know if camping's like my thing. And then I see like all this stuff from like Amazon and REI show up. There's like a tent and like a 2-burner stove. We got propane tanks and sleeping bags. And I was like, oh, she's gonna take
So she just went behind your back and bought all that stuff?
She just, yeah, she was just like, no. And like, she's making like way more than me. So it's like, she could do it. Like, it's
Yeah.
just like, okay. She bought all this stuff. She's like, yo, we're gonna go to Big Bear. So I was like, okay. Packed up this little tiny Prius, drove off to the mountain. And it was like a really good time, man. Like, it was a really good time. I was like, I don't know why I fought you on this for so long, because like we had a lot of fun, and we also learned that Hunter really likes being outside.
Yeah.
And so from there, like, she's like, okay, well, that went well, so let's try another one. Let's try another one. Let's try another one. And so I think we go on like a bunch of hikes, but we've done like maybe 6 or 7 like overnight camp trips now. Because like there's just a lot of parks and stuff you can go to out here. But one of the things we noticed was like we go and there's usually not many faces of color that like we encounter on these camp trips. Like we were oftentimes, I guess, like the only or like one of 2 like families or like couples of color that we would like encounter. So she's like, we should just like start documenting this and just like put it out there, just so like other people kind of like see Black people outside camping, doing outdoorsy things.
Yeah.
Because my brother, like, he camps and does all that too, but like I feel like when I was growing up, like my friends or the people that I surrounded myself with, then they would always be like, oh, that's like for white people. And I don't think it is. Like, outside is for everybody. Like,
I agree. It should be that way. Yeah.
yeah.
But it sort of goes back to representation and also like stereotypes, you know?
Yeah.
If they say like this thing is for white people only, like
Yep.
obviously that's just an assumption. It's based on a stereotype.
Yep.
You know, like how they say like certain types of music are for white people, Black people, which is like, it's just music, you know.
It's for everybody. Like,
yeah. I saw that you and Jarrell did a camping trip in Joshua Tree National Park. Was that before your camping trip with your family, or was that after?
No, that was after. He came last January, so January 2021. He came out for I think like a week, and he was like, I was like, what do you want to do? He's like, I want to do whatever you want to show me. So I was like, all right. I took him to this place called Mount Baldy. We went to San Pedro, see the Korean Friendship Bell. Went to Rancho Palos Verdes to see like the cliffs and like those like mansions out there. And then we went to Joshua Tree. I didn't know it snowed in the desert. Like, we were just driving and he was like, yo, is that snow on the ground? I was like, oh, it is snow on the ground. Because like previously I had only gone during like spring and summer, where it gets like super duper hot. And when we went in January, it's like polar opposite. I think it got down to like 32 degrees. So we were like sleeping in the sleeping bags with like the down jackets on. I was like, I've never been fully dressed with all my like cold weather gear in a sleeping bag, but you needed all that in the desert in wintertime.
Yeah, I know the desert gets pretty cold, especially in the evenings.
Yeah. I
But
didn't
yeah,
know that.
sounds like it was a good learning experience.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. And it was super fun too. I don't know, just like, I don't know, something about like just falling asleep outside is like, sounds cheesy, but like you look up at the stars and it's like I got my family or my brother, usually got a couple drinks and good food. It's a good time.
Yeah,
More people should do that for sure.
absolutely. And what are some current projects that you're working on now? Like, what's something that you recently finished, or you recently started?
Oh, so it's been around for a little longer than I was expecting, but I'm doing, I guess, like all the Kickstarter materials for this watch brand that's getting ready to launch. So we shot a video. They partnered with like some textile artists, one from Japan, one from Korea. And so just like there's a lot of moving pieces. Like they're speaking in their native language, so you had to like translate the audio, get the transcripts, then convert the transcripts to like English and then make that into subtitles. So it's like I learned a lot doing this project. And then I done a couple weddings recently. Um, videography, the videography for weddings. Um, and that's pretty cool. I can do weddings. I don't think I want those to be, actually, I'm not gonna block my blessing. Uh, they're not my favorite thing to do, but I can definitely do them, and
Yeah.
I'm willing to do them. But I enjoy, I guess, like more, I guess, commercial kind of projects, like helping businesses. But those are some of the things that I've done recently with like the photo video. Oh, and I got to shout out my buddy Brandon. He's very talented like director, and he's actually the one who brings me on for like a lot of video jobs. He has like a media production firm, and they do like a lot of like live event recordings. And I get to do like camera op work for him, which is like pretty dope. So like I wouldn't say like I finished those things, but they're things that I got to touch. And it's definitely like super cool, like seeing how other people work and like what kind of like other systems they put in place, because then that helps me think like when I'm doing my like solo running gun kind of things, like okay, how can I do this a little more efficiently next time?
So you have your hands in a lot of different creative projects, whether they're your own or you're contributing on someone else's project.
Mm-hmm.
What would you say your what? Let me back up. It sounds to me like just being creative in general
Mm-hmm.
is what you're passionate about. And you pursue that through many different avenues.
Yeah.
Uh, what would you say is your why for pursuing those creative passions?
Ooh. It's a good question. Actually, I got a mentor now who's helping me kind of like sort through some of these things, put like a little more strategy behind just like my constant doing things.
Mm-hmm.
But I think like part of it is just like this is just stuff I feel compelled to do. Part of it is just like the ADHD. It's like, okay, like I want to figure out how something works or how to do something, and then just like I get lost in it for a little while.
Mm-hmm.
Part of it is like I felt like really misunderstood for a big portion of my life. And so like me making things that other people vibed with was like it kind of like gave me like validation and like made me feel like seen, and so like I was always kind of like chasing that feeling. But it's also part just like I find these things that I like to do, and they say just like do more of what makes you happy. So I'm also like trying to do that as well. So I guess like there are many reasons that I feel compelled to do these things. And different day, it might be a different reason that's making me do it. But it's I don't know, I feel like I'm doing the things that I'm supposed to be doing. Like I was describing to my mentor, he's like, it basically sounds like there's like two versions of you. There's the version that like you felt like you had to become because society says you're supposed to do this kind of thing, and then there's the version of you that like you want to be, and it's like you're slowly becoming the version of you that you want to be while like trying to shed the version that you thought you had to be. And I really felt that.
That resonates with me deeply as well. Yeah, very, very much so.
I can see that.
You know, like, especially, I mean, I don't know what your parents are like, but my parents are very conservative, very old school, very, very practical. And, you know, they want things for us, you know, to make sure that we are safe, that we are able to provide for ourselves, for our family. And creative work, while it can be very fulfilling, it doesn't always pay very well. At least when you're starting out.
For sure.
And it's not the most practical position in that regard. So, you know, we have to take, we feel like we have to take certain jobs that are more practical and are more structured. And, you know, you and I both have worked in government as well as corporate jobs that provide, that meet that need, that provide a more structured source of income and benefits and all that, which is great. But, you know, we both know that for our purpose, for our passion, for, you know, what really gives us that sense of fulfillment, we need more.
It's not those things.
Right.
For sure.
And you know, as we get older and mature and, you know, continue to develop those creative skills more, our goal is to, you know, move from one, you know, industry
to the
other. And it's challenging, but, you know, is part of the process.
Part of the process, and it's doable. It's like he's always saying, like, a big part of it comes down to, I guess, like your confidence, your belief in yourself. It's like how far you think you can take it, on your own, like knowing that there's going to be some challenges and like not necessarily needing that external validation that I feel like a lot of us are kind of like chasing early on.
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, social media fuels that with, you know, the likes and comments and all that shit. Like, and to a certain degree, that is important. You want people to be engaged with what you're putting out, but also, you know, that can't be the reason
the
why.
Sole focus. Like,
you know, and people don't, most people, you know, will, you know, maybe watch it, but they might not comment. And that's okay. Like, you know, as long as people are seeing it and then hopefully get something out of it, that's what really motivates me to put out more work, to, you know, at least share that perspective, share that story, whatever it is. And, you know, if they don't want to engage with it, that's fine. But, you know, hopefully someone sees it and it, you know, helps some way.
But someone will.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
And it's like, being okay with like, and my bad, I think there's like a couple second like lag between us, so it's like I think I'm like trying to get in a break, and then it's not really a break, so my bad.
It's okay.
But like knowing that, like, I think being, that's another thing that I guess has been like a little bit of a revelation for me, is just like being okay with not being for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
It's like it takes some time to build like an engaged audience, but it's like, wouldn't you rather speak to like a few hundred people that are like super stoked on everything you're doing versus like a huge mass of people that are just kind of like passively like maybe like okay, kind of checking in.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
so
Yeah, I mean, I definitely want to, connect with an audience who's stoked on what I'm doing. And
mhm,
and if that is only like, 1,000 people or
mhm,
whatever, like
yeah,
that's cool. But, I
yeah,
think as long as that positive intention is there, it
yep,
will connect with the people that it needs to connect with.
yep,
Yeah.
yep.
And I'm curious, like, who's your mentor? Like, how long have you been working with them?
So this dude, call him the hype man. His name is Ken Young. I actually met him. So one of the young ladies I photographed, it's actually her husband, and she was wearing like, she's super dope. She's like one of my biggest supporters that is like not related to me. Um, she was wearing one of my t-shirts, and like he saw the first one, he's like, yo, that's dope. And then she wore another one, and then like a hoodie. And he was like, where are you getting this stuff? And she's like, oh, it's my friend Maal. And so he's like, I want to meet him. And she introduces us. We get coffee, and like we just hit it off. Like, I don't, there's like just some people that I don't know, just like you vibe like as soon as you meet him. He was just like one of those dudes. And he
Mhm.
was like, yo, I see like a lot of potential in you. He's like, I can tell you, he's like, I don't want to step on toes, but it's like you might need a little help here or here. He's like, I want to offer that to you if you're like open to it. And I was like, I don't think anyone's ever approached me like that. So it's like I'm definitely like interested in what you have to say. Um, and we spent just like a couple like hour and a half sessions together, and he was able to like glean some like really key insights into like how I do things, why I do some of the things that I do. And it's just like, yo, he's, it's like you're on to something, dude.
Mhm.
So we have like weekly, sometimes bi-weekly check-ins, and he's helping me do he's helping me do some stuff now. He's like, there's no reason you're not able to basically like make a living doing the stuff that you like to do. He's like, if you don't want to do like your governmenty stuff, he's like, don't do it. He's like, you don't have to do it. He's like, you have everything you need right now. He's like, it'll take some steps to get there, but he's like, if you just like focus your attention like a little more versus like bouncing here, there, here,
Yeah.
there.
So is he helping you with that, like creating a roadmap to
Yeah,
in there?
yeah.
That's awesome.
So yeah, yeah. No, I'm super stoked about what he and I are going to do together. So he has like his main business is like helping like a lot of like tech founders, like help them scale their business, but like he is passionate about like arts and like creative stuff, so like he wants to do more to help like people like us too. um
That's rad.
yeah, he's a dope dude for sure.
What do you do when you're in a creative slump? Like, how do you get out of it? Do you have a process for that?
uh, uh Damn, that's another good one, man. uh I feel like because I do a few different things, I'm knock on wood, but I've been fortunate so far that like if I'm having a slump or like a rut in one area, I just try to like go super hard in like a different area. And like
Mhm.
the slump hasn't hit everything all at once.
That's good.
So it's like if I can't like write for a little while, then I'll go heavy on like photos
Mhm.
or sketching or like design. If I can't like tell a story with like video, then I'll lean again like on the photos or like sketching clothes or something. So like
Mhm.
I've been lucky that like I've always had something. And like I didn't have that like so gonna so when I stopped doing like dweeb, all I had was like the clothing. There was nothing else. And so like
Right.
I was not in a good place right after I decided to like shelve that. Um, so it's like I kind of needed to have something else, and maybe that's kind of uh, like a some kind of like security thing I've built into my personality. So like I don't get back to the place that I was then.
Yeah, it is great to have other projects to fall back on. That's not something that I've been too good at, like managing.
Mhm.
But I think I'm generally like more focused when I have like one project to focus on.
Yeah,
Um, and then I just have to like take breaks from it, and
yeah,
focus on more personal stuff.
yeah.
Um, I've had that's been a challenge with like anxiety and depression, like not wanting to like
Hmm.
do
To
video editing
finish things.
or
Yeah,
stuff like that. Um, so I've had to like take some time off from doing it
yeah,
to like avoid feeling burnt out on it.
yeah. No, that's real.
Also recognizing like, if my heart's not fully in a project, like maybe it doesn't need to get finished. Like
Yeah,
that's something that I
for
struggle with,
sure.
like wanting
Oh,
start
dude.
everything that I finish, but sometimes like
Yep.
you can't, you know.
Yeah. I
Um,
have hours of footage for like stuff that like it seemed like the dopest thing at the time. And then I'm like scrubbing through it. I'm like, it's not exactly what I thought it would be when I set out to. And
mhm.
just kind of like, there are some people that are like, yo, you have to put something together and put it out. And yeah, to your point, it's like, it is very difficult for me to like put a bow on things that I'm not like fully in. Um, yeah, that's a real yeah. You,
Yeah,
I'm glad that's not just me, but I yeah, I gotta chew on that for a bit. But
yeah, for sure. So I know you mentioned hiking earlier. You and
mm-hmm,
uh, your wife and your kids go hiking, um, and I know you guys do a bit of running and biking as
mm-hmm,
well. Oh,
yeah.
can you describe like what your current workout routine is like and how that serves you in other areas of your life?
Oh yeah. So I've been in a little bit of a slump since the little one hit the scene. But before that, I was running like 3 times a week. Um, I said, and I'm probably gonna pick it back up this summer, but last year I started, I guess, just like training for like this thing I wanted to do for myself. And
Cool.
sorry, let me answer the question you asked first, because I always do that. Get off on these tangents. Right now, I'm only working out like maybe 2 to 3 times a week, but like,
That's good, man.
thank you. Tell that to Brit. Uh, but like, I enjoy running because like time for me to be like alone with like my thoughts. It's like I put on like some instrumentals or like some lo-fi, which is like odd running music to most people. But it's just like I'll just go for like 4 or 5 miles and just like think about things. And And not even just like creative stuff, just like how am I feeling? How have I been feeling? What's going on? What's going well? Um, just trying to like sort through different things that like I might have on my mind. Like I need that. um, I used to get that like when we were doing like commuting to work, and then everybody went remote, and so it's like I had to get it in some other way.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, I use my exercise time to kind of like check in with myself. Yeah.
When you say that, do you mean like in regards to your mental health, or is that in regards to like creative ideas or stuff like that?
It's a little bit of both. Because like I haven't always been the best at like articulating how I'm feeling, and like older, like current me is like more mindful than I used to be. So it's like if something happened that like made me feel some kind of way, it's like in the moment I'm not always able to like examine like why that may have happened.
Right.
And a lot of times you kind of just like push it down into the side, and so like kind of resurfaces when my brain isn't really like focused on like trying to do something. And then it's like,
Mm-hmm.
why did I feel that way? Why did what that person say like make me feel this kind of way?
Yeah.
And so just like trying to get to the root of like why I'm feeling. And then I feel like a lot of times it comes down to like me projecting. And then I'm usually feeling a little better after it.
Mm-hmm.
So like yeah, it's I know like you're supposed to do like lifting and cardio, but like I don't my brain doesn't work the same way when like I'm like trying to like squat or like curl heavy weights. It's like I don't know.
Yeah.
Running is good for my brain.
Yeah, it is good for your brain. I've heard that as well. I used to run a lot more than I do now. I've been a lot more focused on lifting and
Mhm.
biking.
You
Um,
looking good though, dude. I
I,
was like, yo, my
yeah,
man got shreds now. Like
yeah, I guess.
I see you.
But yeah, there's this really great video called "Running Sucks" by Van
Mm,
Neistat, who
okay.
runs the Spirited Man YouTube channel.
Okay.
Brother Casey Neistat, another famous YouTuber.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay. I know Casey. Like,
yeah,
okay.
yeah. And in Van's video, he talks about um, running and his thinking process. How
Mm-hmm.
when he runs up a hill, that's the
Mm-hmm.
drilling, and then
Mm-hmm.
when he runs downhill, that's the
Mm-hmm.
pumping out of his ideas
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm,
his analysis.
yeah.
Um, and that definitely sounds similar to your process in
Mm-hmm.
analyzing your thoughts or your behaviors, um, and helping you to process that. And
Yeah,
um,
for sure.
yeah, I definitely agree with that sentiment as well, because running really helped me to start to get more comfortable with pushing myself outside of my comfort zone and
Mm-hmm.
sort of expanding um, my consciousness to a certain degree. I
Yeah.
think getting into running helped me eventually start to create other healthy habits in my life, like
Mm-hmm.
becoming vegan, um,
Yeah.
quitting drinking,
Yeah.
um, and just
Good
trying
on
to
you
better
for that
myself.
too, man. Jeez, yeah.
Yeah, so I became vegan in 2017, and then I quit drinking in
Mm-hmm.
2019. So it's been an evolving process, and
Yeah.
I'm still working on evolving it,
Yeah.
in a different direction,
Yeah.
um, to just be the person that I want to be. And
Yeah.
it it's changing,
I
but
love it.
I'm happy with where it's at. Yeah, yeah, man.
Yeah.
Um, what does your morning routine look like today? Like, do you guys have what do you do when you wake up, basically?
Um, so it's usually 10 to the children.
Yeah,
Um, we usually like tag team it.
good.
But yeah, it's kids, get them like breakfast or whatever, then the dog, then usually water and coffee, then quick little workout if time permits, and then it's whatever the day has in store
Mhm.
for us. Uh, like Saturdays, we usually got to take Hunter. She's doing t-ball now. Um, then swimming, and then yeah, just whatever the day has. So if I have like a work thing or like a project, then I kind of like plan around like what the family is doing.
Yeah.
So it's like if we don't have anywhere to be, then it's like okay, I tell Britt like I need an hour or 2 hours so I can focus on this thing for a little bit. Then it's more family slash dad stuff. That is that is that is the bulk of my days now. At least like
Yeah.
we're all here. Um, this the oldest one. She is very energetic and always has to be doing something. And
Yeah.
everybody thinks we're kidding until they come spend a couple hours with her. And they're like, yo, it's nonstop with this one. Like, yeah, I told you.
Yeah, it's cool to see how she's such a combination of you and Brittany. Like, based,
Yeah.
I only know a limited amount of information about her based on what I've seen on social media, but
Yeah,
I can tell she's like a beautiful mixture of both of you. Like as far as
she
like
is.
Britt's athleticism and energy, and then
Yep.
your creative side.
Yep. Yeah. 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 She really is.
Yeah,
It's so weird when like you see parts of yourself in them when
Mhm.
they're so small. I'm just like, ooh, okay.
Yeah.
I see what's going on here.
Cool. And are there any other ways you practice self-care in your life to try and give yourself more energy to focus on your personal growth and your creative projects?
um so there's I guess like me doing like the work that I do. And then it's also me working with not working with, but like just having conversations, I guess, like these. So like it's always cool to just like check in with like-minded people, have similar like interests in things and just like hear their ideas too. Like hearing other people's ideas is like and seeing how I can help them is like something that I find um like I guess rewarding. I don't like there's a lot of value in that. Like I get a good feeling from um like if I can help one of the homies like do something that's like been like troubling them or like figure out something that they couldn't quite get on their own. Like that gives me joy. So that's like another thing.
Yeah. Are you familiar with the seven love languages?
I am.
I think acts of
uh
service is one of your love
yeah,
languages. Sounds
for
like.
sure. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, being
For
in service
sure.
is so great, especially if you can help someone out. It definitely is helpful with managing anxiety. I know as well,
Hmm.
stepping outside of your mind and just helping someone in some way can
Hmm.
really help to ease those anxious thoughts because you're being more present um, with that person, or
Yeah.
it could even be with your dog.
No. Yeah.
Since we got our dog last year, that's definitely been helpful for my mental health as well, because you have to
Hmm.
be there for the dog no matter what, and
Yep.
um, be attentive to their needs as well as your own. Yeah.
Hmm.
How long have you guys had your dog?
Yep.
How long have you guys had your dog?
6 years now. Yeah, 6. We got him when he was like really. I think he's only like a month or two old
Oh
when we
wow,
found him. Yeah,
that's
and now he's Hunter calls him her brother. It's like he's older than me, but I'm taller. Yes, that is
that's
true.
cute. What is an obstacle that you're currently facing or recently faced, and what practices do you use to cope with it?
Uh, Something that I recently faced. That's a good question. Oh, so I guess I kind of hit on this before, but it was part of, I guess, like my issue was like having like a little more confidence in like myself and my own abilities,
Hmm.
um and like just being more motivated to do for me than like for other people. And hype man definitely like helped me out um with that. So it's like when now I'm at a point where it's like I don't have a problem like seeking outside help if there's something that I can't do on my own. Whereas before, I would just like spin my wheel, spin my wheel, spin my wheels, like trying to figure something out on my own. And it's like, yo, you don't have to do everything alone. It's like there's a bunch of people who I'm sure would just like love to help if you would just let them know what you need help with. So
Yeah,
um yeah, finding help when they need help.
yeah, and that's definitely an important skill to learn. As you in the future probably
Hmm.
scale your business up after you've been able to leave your corporate job. If you want to build a team to
Hmm.
help making your projects run more efficiently.
Yep.
um, you have to be able to trust other people and delegate. um,
Yep.
so definitely a good thing to learn now.
Hmm.
We're going to move towards wrapping up, but I have a few
Okay.
recurring questions that I like to ask.
Okay.
First is our mindset moment. So,
Okay.
what is a
Yeah.
quote or tip that you like to use that inspires you to keep going and stay positive despite personal hardships?
Oh, it sounds cheesy, but like it'll be all good in the end. And if it's not all good, it's not the end.
Can you say that one more time?
It'll be all good in the end. And if it's not all good, then it's not the end.
Where's that from?
I have no idea. But it stuck with me for a really long time.
Yeah. Is that something your parents used to say?
Uh, I feel like I heard it in a movie
Uh-huh.
when I was like a kid or like a young adult.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I can't. There's like a lot of things that like I have internalized over the years. It's just like kind of like pulling from a bunch of different places, and I'm not all sure where all this stuff came from.
Right.
But
Seed was
it definitely kind
planted.
of like, yeah, it was planted by someone at some point, and it resonated. Because
Yeah,
yeah, that is, yeah, I lean on that one a lot.
that's a good one. Yeah. Like another quote similar to that, like, is if you're going through hell, keep going,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
because, you'll eventually get out.
Get out. Yep. I
Mhm.
like that.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Next is our PMA Warrior of the Week. Who is someone who inspires you to keep a positive mental attitude?
uh, I guess it's like my family. Because it's like to me, when I hear like keep a good mental attitude, it's like be the best version of yourself. And it's like if I can't be the best version of myself for me, then I won't be the best version of myself for them. So it's definitely the fam.
And when you say the fam, do you mean your wife and kids?
Oh yeah, like this household.
Yeah.
This unit that we've created.
Yeah, absolutely. It's so important to show up for the people, who are in our lives, especially, the ones that need you the most.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, last is good food, good mood. What is one of your go-to meals that helps you to feel your best?
Oh, okay. So like I'm like kind of weird because like I could eat the same thing every day and be completely happy. And I know that is not most people. But there is this Thai restaurant nearby, and they make what is it called? It's like Thai basil, but with salmon. So it's like brown rice, really spicy vegetables, and like a fresh fillet of salmon. And it was like the best thing to me. And I think bread is probably like over the restaurant, but I would eat it every day if I could.
Yeah, my partner and I are big fans of Thai food as well. In fact, we just had some last night.
See, good
Big
stuff.
fans of pad Thai, and
Mm-hmm.
a lot of Thai places have tofu as an option, which is a vegan protein source.
Yep.
So we do that. Also love like a good curry with veggies and some rice.
Yep.
Yeah, Thai food is great.
Yeah.
Definitely. I would love to visit Thailand at some point. I've heard it's really cool and
Dude.
expensive.
Yeah. It's on the bucket list. It's like expensive to get there, but
Right.
once you're there, you don't need a whole lot.
Right. Yeah, I've heard that as well. Cool place.
Look at those plane tickets. I'm like, $1,300. Not yet.
Maybe you
Not.
can book a photo gig there and make it happen.
Oh yeah, dude, that'd be epic.
That would be
Let's
sick.
manifest that. Yeah,
Putting
I
it
do
out
need
there.
to do like more travel. Yeah,
Yeah.
for creative work. Like that'll be when I'm there. Like that's like next level for me.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like with Type Man's help, you'll definitely get there.
Yeah. I've got I don't want to say no doubts, but I've got way few. Like I'm feeling good about where I'm headed now. Yeah, I'm feeling good, man.
That's awesome, man.
Oh, there's my family. I don't know if you can hear them.
A little bit, but it's okay.
Okay.
So last question, where can people connect with you if they want to follow along with your journey?
Oh, I'm on Facebook, Jamaal. I am Dweeb Williams. I'm on LinkedIn, Jamaal Williams. And he actually said like I need to kind of like start drawing a line between like just like the rigid kind of professional side and like the stuff that I want to do. So I recently set up like a new LinkedIn profile that's just Maal Williams, and that's like more reflective of like the direction I want to take myself.
Cool.
And then there's Instagram, hey_it's_Maal. And that's just like a mishmash. It's like professional photos I've taken, mixed with like a little bit of family stuff. That's where I am more often than not.
Right. And then you also have the bunch of other Instagram pages for all your other projects.
Yeah.
We got Molly's World. We got DPTS. We got Black People
FML
LBC
LBC
and FML.
Yeah.
So I think 5 Instagrams total.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of great work, man. You're doing so much good.
Thank you.
Actually 6 if you're counting Dweeb Lifestyle.
Yeah, I still have that one.
So who knows? Maybe we'll see more from Dweeb, but You got a lot of great
I
projects going, man.
thank you. And yeah, that's the goal. Like at some point, it's not shelved forever, just for now.
Right. Well, thank you again, man. I really enjoyed this.
No, dude, thank you for having me. It's always good talking to you.
Likewise.
Love what you're doing. Like I don't know, you just like, I get good vibes from you. Like you're doing a lot of dope things.
Thank you, man.
And more people need to see this.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Looking forward to seeing you later this year, hopefully. At
yes, sir.
if you guys can make it, we'll see.
Yeah.
All right. Take care, bud. Have a good rest of your day.
You too. Later.
Hey guys, thanks for checking out our podcast. I hope you got a lot out of it and it was helpful for you in your personal growth journey. If you haven't subscribed to the podcast yet, please do so on your preferred podcast provider. We're available on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. Stay blessed and keep the PMA. Later.